you're a member of the Christians on the Left executive, and it'd be great to hear something about what led you into getting politically active.
Yeah. I would say I didn't want to be politically active at all, actually. I was always much more interested in kind of law, I guess the policy side, but backroom. I was much more comfortable in backroom. You know, by nature, I'm more of an introvert. I like listening to people. I love the academic side. So books, learning about things. You know, I also play bass in music, and you could say it's kind of more of a backroom role. It's a little bit more relaxed. I was always told, you know, politics, you know, you're more likely to split the room and people will hate you. And I was like, But my parents are pretty political. I had a really good upbringing in the sense that actually we met people of all kind of areas. So homeless people, people with mental health issues, people with drug problems, alcohol problems. I grew up on a council estate for most of my life, but we also had my grandparents who lived on the farm. We moved around quite a lot. My parents were fairly educated, but we were also quite poor. So it was kind of this sort of weird dichotomy, you could say, between, you know, having and have not, and being open to people. We're a pretty international family as well, so cousins marrying different people. We came from sort of Malta and Italy and France. So there's lots of kind of areas that really got me questioning, and I would say that both my parents being active in helping people with drug and alcohol problems and also dealing with things like HIV and AIDS, and also my grandparents serving in the military during World War II really opened me up to politics. And in fact I always remember being told quite young, you know, get off your soapbox, you know, little girls don't get on the soapbox. So, you know, this kind of thing, you don't have an opinion. But actually my parents were like, no, you do have an opinion, and actually you should have a voice. And gradually I came to the point of saying, you know what, I can't be backroom anymore. It's not enough just to stand there and analyse and do books and be academic in that sense. Actually, I'm going to have to get involved. I need to see change, and I can't just keep walking past people on the street or homeless people or what happens overseas. I actually need to be doing something about this. And for me, that led on the journey of coming to Christians on the Left and actually meeting you, Andy, and having those conversations about how do you get involved, being a bit louder, being a bit more upfront, and eventually taking the decision to join a political party, which I would never have done. I think, you know, my parents are like, what have you done? You know, this kind of stuff. But actually I think technically they might be a bit proud of that. But it was a sense of, it's just a gradual journey for me, and making that connection between what I care about, what I was passionate about, and actually then going on doing something about it.
And has your faith been an important part of that journey?
Massively, yeah. I think by nature I've always been someone that just loves the heart of God, and you know, I think I was very much saved into that sense of knowing God as Saviour, as Lord, but also His grace and His love, and that He's a God of second and third and fourth chances, but also just knowing how much He cares. You know, growing up in a situation where we had homeless people and people with alcohol problems around, and Dad and Mum really sharing the gospel to them really played a massive part in my life. But also then when I grew up myself, feeling like actually God is a God of love, He's a God of justice, and He cares. You know, do justly, love mercy, walk humbly, all these things that kind of played on me, and I felt like, yeah, I have to live out. This isn't just a Sunday faith for me, this isn't just what I learn. Actually, it's not what I sing even or play. It has to be what I'm living out on a day to day, and that for me is how the political system is.
So since you got involved in politics, would you say you're praying less or praying more?
More. much more, definitely. There seems to be always something that I'm basically on my knees about going, help, God help. But also in the sense of thanking God for. Just, you know, thanking for God for people I meet, the opportunity to talk to different people. Thanking God when amazing things have gone right, or policy has come through from somebody, and I thought, you know what, that's great. That really reflects God's kingdom in that sense. But also just praying, you know, God's kingdom come, and asking God a lot of questions. So my prayers are often places where I question and ask God for wisdom and for His heart, and saying, you know, what do I do? I'm just me, you know, at the end of the day. And also prayers of like going, I don't feel like I can do anything, but I know You're in charge, God. I know ultimately You're sovereign and You've got it in control, but how do You want us to act? So yeah, a lot of my time is spent praying, asking for strength, asking for wisdom, and also trying to hear God through different things. I'm a big fan of kind of things like Grey's Anatomy, which people are like, no. But I love Grey's Anatomy, and for some reason, always feel God speaking to me through that, using a line that someone says, or just, I don't know, my antenna is always up, probably because I'm relaxed and I'm hearing. And there was a line in one episode where they basically, lots of bad things had happened. There'd been a horrific shooting, and people were asking real questions of society and asking questions of people and saying, why is this happening? And one of the doctors in it said, well, you know what? God is love, God's good, but sometimes people just haven't caught up to God yet. And I love that line. And for me, that's a real line of, that's where we're at, and that's why we have to show grace, because actually people just haven't caught up to God's standards yet. And we're all there, all continuing to go forward on that journey.
Yeah. And so the folks that you're interacting with as you've got involved with the Labour Party, very hugely involved as you are now, have you been welcomed? Have you experienced the welcome, or have you found it difficult?
Both, but I would definitely say being welcomed, and I don't know why. There are times when people will come to me and just literally say, I'm finding it really difficult, I'm feeling really stressed, I know that you have a faith, how do you cope with this, what do you do in this scenario? And I've been able to say, well, yeah, okay, I believe that we can pray, I believe that God answers, I believe that this is what the Bible says about this particular situation, whether it's international development or whether it's on an issue close to the home, and being able to share with that, or even to say to them, look, do you mind if I pray for you? Or just being an ear in that sense. And I think for most people it's been a kind of thing where you feel part of a family, that you're taken in. And I guess it's by nature, again, being maybe a bit more introvert and relaxed, but I don't tend to go in with an idea of I'm judging people. I want to know what their opinions are, I want to hear from them, and I'm happy to be there and talk. And that's been a real privilege to do that, and to be able to just engage with people and say, actually, here's our perspective on this scenario. What are you thinking? What are you struggling with? There has been resistance as well. You come in with a label on your head saying, "Hey, I'm Christians on the left. You can't get away from it. You're a Christian." And people do tend to label you with, "Oh, you must think this," or "You must think that about this." So it's quite nice sometimes to be a little bit of a surprise package to them and to say, "Not all of us think that," or "Yeah, there is that, but actually I believe this," or "Actually, why don't we go on a journey? Why don't you come and learn about us and we can learn about you," in that sense as well. So building relationship is key, and it's something we always talk about Christians on the left as well. Relationship in that sense. You've got to understand each other at the end of the day.
Brilliant. And so you are part of the mentoring programme that's ongoing at the minute, and you have a mentor who's an MP, isn't that right?
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about how that's been so far and why you think that's fruitful.
Yeah. So my mentor that I've been given is Cat Smith MP, which is great. I know she's really big on youth engagement, and that's one of my big passions as well, in terms of getting people involved into politics and being on that listening exercise. The mentorship programme is kind of only just really started, but it's been incredibly helpful just in terms of learning from other people on the course. I know we all went into that feeling a bit kind of down, but actually it's given us huge hope. Listening to people's stories, hearing where they're at, hearing from councillors, hearing from MPs, doing some speaking training as well, has been really, really good and incredibly encouraging. And also what's great about the mentoring programme is that you have people from different strands. So we won't be all of the same kind of ilk, in that sense that we're all in a particular line in the party, we're from different areas, and we're coming together to learn from each other and to hear each other, and to really walk on a journey in terms of, what does it mean for us? Are we going to go forward in terms of public office or seek public office, or is it more of just a personal journey and to how we develop? But it's been incredibly good, and I would definitely encourage people to be part of it. So when the next round comes on, please send the applications in as well.
Brilliant. Heather, thanks so much for talking to us. Bless you.